Thank you very much for staying with us. You're still watching Midday Live from the News Hub here at Adisawe Kanda in Accra. I'm sure we can now listen to the private legal practitioner Eduji Tamaklo, who has been speaking about the National Cathedral project following the Finance Minister's message on a state broadcaster that government will sink in a lot more funds and he doesn't need parliamentary approval to get that done and disburse government funds. We'll be hearing from him shortly. But this afternoon, there's been a lot of criticism also for government's tackling of flooding in the country, even as the rains continue to pour. It comes after Works and Housing Minister Francis Asenso-Boakye revealed Ghana requires some $5 billion in infrastructure to deal with flooding in the country. Experts say the lack of commitment and the political will has been accountable for the loss of lives and properties at the slightest downpour. Let's engage building and construction engineer Abdullahi Mahama. Thank you, Abdullahi Mahama, for joining us. So I know this subject is one that you've been following for so long. The minister has just said, for example, that we need $5 billion in infrastructure to deal with flooding. And this is 2022. All these years we've been speaking about flooding. People continue to die. People lose their properties at every rainfall. What are we missing?
Well, a good afternoon to your viewers. I think the Minister for Works and Housing would have to tell Ghanaians what has been given to him so far with regards to the mitigation measures put in place by government on the issue of the flooding. If you may recall, 2019, we were told that the Honorable Sisi Abena Dapa, who is a sanitation minister, had been given 197 million Ghana cedis to do the silting of Dodo and other river bodies which are silted. Nothing came to fruition. The Auditor General's report in 2019-20 had indicated that over the past 5 years, construction that are supposed to be done or expansion that are supposed to be done by the government had not been done. In fact, out of 111 kilometers of drain to improve the flooding issue in Accra, only 11% had been done. And out of the 18 number ponds, one would say retention ponds, which are supposed to accommodate the water that would have inundated the lands in Accra especially, not even one had been done. So is he saying that he's now going back to calculate from that time all the works that have been undone till now to tell us that they need $5 billion to start with the mitigation measures of the flood? I think we are getting to a stage where the Minister of Finance, apart from the Parliament calling him to make bigger pronouncement or cogent, definitive pronouncement about what he's doing or in terms of releasing funds to the said ministry. In 2021, precisely the 4th of June, there was a cabinet emergency meeting where the same Honorable Asensu had to elaborate to the cabinet about the urgency to tackle some of the floods before the extension of some of these drains, storm drains, reserve water buffer areas before the rains come. Okay. As we speak, 2022, 2nd of June, not even one pesewa had been released from the Ministry of Finance to the sector minister. So is there disjointed in terms of what we need to do at the Ministry of Works and Housing, or the Minister of Finance is doing a sole motu? Because if a cabinet had decided that these are emergencies that need to be tackled as soon as possible, and 2021, June 4 to 2022, so this is about 11th of June, and not one pesewa. In fact, there are letters from the Ministry of Works and Housing as a reminder on the 2nd of June 2022, requesting 10 million Ghana cedis from the Ministry of Foreign, Finance,
right?
And not one pesewa had been given. So no wonder we still have what we see in Accra when the ministry seems to be working, and one person, one minister is trying to use his discretion as to when and when not to release money to the sector minister to make sure that some of these devastations are mitigated to its barest minimum. Otherwise, I don't know what we can do. You can ask a follow-up question and then we can explain on that.
Would that not also feed into the whole conversation about the economic situation we find ourselves in, and so we're unable to make expenditures and release monies into certain sectors, and so we're having to sort of make do with what we have, essentially.
You would finish the construction of the cathedral. There will be a program to be organized at the cathedral. Unfortunately for you, you'll be on your way from McCarthy Hills, you'll be on your way from Achimota, you'll be on your way from Ebri, coming to the program, and the inundated water will prevent you from attending to the program. If that is a priority, Ghanaians are dying. I am suggesting that this minister in any jurisdiction will be hauled or will be surcharged for manslaughter. Because if that becomes a priority, with or without the cathedral, there will not be devastation or life lost. But if you want to prioritize the construction of the cathedral, I just listened to your news this afternoon that you want to release more money to handle the cathedral, whereas the routes that lead to the cathedral, none of them would function when we are inundated with the heavy waters across the capital. So where is the priority of the government?
So for you, it's a matter of a lack of political will and a commitment to deal with the flooding problem once and for all.
That is one, because the Auditor General's reports indicate that you are talking about, I think you should know something about buffer. A buffer or retention pond is supposed to collect all waters that will not be seen through the ground immediately the rains come.
Right.
And out of 18 that government had from the Hydrological Service Department had prioritized or identified these 18 areas to be constructed, not one had been started. That is the Auditor General's report, not Engineer Mahama saying it. Right. So it's just simple to know that government has not prioritized that one, but they can prioritize the cathedral, construction of the cathedral.
Thank you very much, Engineer Abdullahi Mahama. There he is, a roads and building engineer, speaking to us.